The offseason continues, and we have major pressing news and questions to ask each other. Next, Locked On Bulldogs.
You are Locked On Bulldogs, your daily podcast on the Georgia Bulldogs. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Locked On Bulldogs podcast. He is Clint. I am Daniel, and we are back together again. The podcast is just better with the two of us. Convalescence. It's a convalescence of forces today on the Locked On Bulldogs podcast. So glad that you're here. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Of course, today's episode brought to you by our friends over at Monarch Money. Learn more at monarchmoney.com. More on them in a moment. Thanks for being an everydayer. Listen, we know you're here every day. We know there wasn't a Monday episode this week. It is the off season. Please forgive us. We are doing our best. But thanks for being an everydayer. Thanks for being a loyal third segment listener. Thanks for being a first listener of every day. All of those things help out the podcast. If you're here through the off season, we said it once, we've said it 1,000 times. If you've got burning questions, if you got things that you want to know about, things that you want to hear about, somebody asked us a question about a yacht, about boating. I'll be honest with you, I did not understand the question. Rephrase it and send it again in an email. Was this
on the X or the email?
No, this was on the email. I read it 10 times, Clint, and I did not register with me. If you have a question for us that you want us to answer, send it to us. You can send it to us at Dawgs Podcast on X, or you can send it lockedonbulldogs@gmail.com. Either way is a great way to get a hold of us. Today, Clint, we're going to talk about 3 questions that we have, and I'm going to ask you the first one.
Yes,
Are you ready for it?
I'm ready.
Last week, you were gone, and I'm going to give you a chance to defend the podcast because some people got upset about some things that were said, and I'll be honest, I was the one who said them. I wish I could blame John Tweet Sports. I often do blame John Tweet Sports. Most things are his fault, but in this case, I will say that I was the one who said this, and it was not received kindly by several folks. And so I'm going to ask you, Clint.
Okay.
Am I out of line in this statement? I know you don't listen to the podcast when you're not a part of it, and so I will repeat the statement for you here. I said
yes
that Gunnar Stockton was a better runner than Stetson Fleming Bennett IV. Categorically, point of fact, Gunnar Stockton is a better runner than Stetson Bennett, and that was not received well.
I'm sure
in the comment section by the public. Am I out of line? Would you like to print a retraction or apologize to the people on behalf of the Locked On Bulldogs podcast?
First of all, I'm here to tell you right now, if Daniel and I were in the business of writing apologies for each other, we would be out of our actual jobs.
We used to have official music.
We did.
It got deleted from our thing over here. I don't know what happened. Somebody came in and cleaned house.
It did. Let me defend those who are in the comments about Stetson Fleming Bennett.
Okay.
They're going to say Stetson's one of, well, first of all, greatest college quarterback of all time.
We know that. That's not in question.
It's not in question. They're going to say he has, if you look at the highlights, if you look at the most important times, they see a runner who is what they'll call maybe electric or shifty or has the hips that wiggle and that nasty degged leg that he goes ahead and throws on some folk to get into
they
the end
don't
zone.
like.
They don't. Okay. Like everything about that. So they're going to say the ones in the comments are saying, well, Stetson Fleming Bennett had iconic touchdowns that he rushed for.
Absolutely.
Which he did.
He did.
They're coming to memory right now. He had the shiftiness, which he did.
Mm-hmm.
But they're going to fall apart after that because what you said was not Gunnar has more memorable moments. Gunnar has more important runs. You didn't say that. You said categorically he is a better runner. And I want to state this just unequivocally. It's beyond true And there's no retraction needed. It's if you look at Gunner's body work already from high school as a recruit coming out, he broke you name a record, he holds it.
Yeah.
Okay.
In the state of Georgia, is there any high school football played in the state of Georgia, Clint? Do they even do that there?
Do they like that sport down there?
Yeah, that's a thing.
So he already was. Stetson never had that. Secondly, he already has, in my mind, in my assessment, not a touchdown, but almost as equal of importance.
Let's stop right there. It's one of the most memorable runs from a Georgia quarterback in the last century.
He held on to that ball. I don't know how. He didn't fumble.
His kappa was detated from his head. Okay?
It would have taken a Frankenstein-esque movement to put that back on. Okay.
Yeah.
He held on to the ball. He is category a better runner. He has the ability to take one-on-one defenders and push them back. Stetson never had that ability. Open field, he can go ahead and try to get you to miss. If you did miss, he's got the shiftiness to go. If you didn't miss, Stetson's going down. Okay. But I love Stetson. He's again, Gunner. That's not the case. He'll put a shoulder into you and he'll look for contact against the sideline, against Texas, against that hit going down into the, to set up the touchdown. He has that ability to bully you in the run game. He is thicker. He carries the load more. He has the ability to do off tackle or up the middle, push the pile, and he has the shiftiness. He has both and where Stetson did not. Daniel, no retraction needed.
Clint, no one is a bigger defender of Stetson Fleming Bennett than this podcast.
Us. Right? We get hate all the time from other people because we defend him so much.
Glance over my left shoulder, if you're watching on YouTube. Like, no one loves Stetson Bennett more than I do. More than you do, Clint. Like, we are
correct.
I mean, we go to bat for this guy on social media versus against Alabama fans, Florida fans, LSU fans coming out of the woodwork to hate on Stetson Bennett for no reason whatsoever. We love Stetson Bennett. I need to clarify, there is a difference between a scrambler and a runner.
Here we go. See?
Stetson Bennett can scramble like nobody's business, okay? Correct. That means he gets out of trouble. That means he's got a pocket awareness. That means he's got like that intangible quality, that spidey sense that tells him when he needs to step up, when he needs to move left, when he needs to move right. That's what made him so elite and so special. And I'll be honest with you, scrambling is more important than running. And that's what makes Stetson Bennett. That's what makes Stetson Bennett the greatest college quarterback of all time. One of the many things. But Gunner Stockton is a better runner of the football. And the point that I was making when I made this point, Clint, is will Mike Bobo have the stones to utilize Gunner Stockton for what he is, which is the best running quarterback at Georgia since DJ Shockley, and I will not back down on that statement. He is the best starting quarterback at Georgia since DJ Shockley. And if you watch that offense in 2005, the way that I did when DJ was quarterback, then you know that he was utilized for his skill set.
Yes,
like designed runs.
Yes, sir.
Like intentional quarterback draws, quarterback powers, option looks. He was utilized in that way. You did not see Stetson Bennett utilized in that way because that was not his skill set. When the play broke down, he was able to make something happen. Todd Monken was brilliant at calling design runs to keep people off balance with Stetson Bennett. What I want to see from Gunner Stockton this year is intentional designed runs, utilizing his skill set, forcing defenders to commit,
yes,
and thus opening up the passing game and all the other avenues in which Georgia's offense can hurt them.
And if you look back, Stetson Bennett, Carson Beck, there were the designed read option look that Mike Bobo has put into the offense. It was never going to be an actual pull and take.
There was no option. There was no option.
It was just the look.
Yeah.
However, Gunner's the dude that's going to be like, I'll
pull that ball.
He absolutely is that guy, and Bobo's going to give him the green light. The green light, it was red light all the time. The look, Carson,
Yes.
Do not give the ball. Stetson, give the ball. Gunner, up to you, buddy.
That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see, and that's the point that I was trying to make about Gunner Stockton, and I stand by it. All right, Clint's got a question for me in segment 2 about this 2025 Georgia football team, but first these.
And these are, in fact, Monarch money. Daniel, I don't know about you, but all that money that I make goes bye-bye really, really quick.
Yay, she gone.
He gone. You know what I need? I don't just need a personal money manager. I need like a personal CFO to get visibility and control over finances. Monarch Money isn't just a budgeting app. It's complete financial command center. Check all the accounts. Stop just managing money and start building wealth all in one convenience. Instead of juggling multiple apps, you can use Monarch to check your finances, check spending, even plan long-term goals. I'm using it right now, and it's telling me how much opposed to last month I'm in the black, not the red, because I set those goals up. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use promo code LockedOnCollege at monarchmoney.com. 50% off your first year. monarchmoney.com. Code LockedOnCollege for half off your first year. Daniel, no retraction needed. We are not a newspaper company.
It's good to hear. It's good to hear.
By the way,
we don't hide in the bushes outside of adult entertainment establishments waiting for.
We got Judd fired. Just remember that next time. Like, we are
Listen, we don't need a thank you note. From you. No. That's not what we're asking for.
The UGA Athletics, their letter to him, the cease and desist, quoted our interview.
Let it be said that my man over there got this man fired from his job, at which he was lousy.
He was bad. I don't like what man is so stupid. We are who we are. Like when I invited you on the pod, how did you not know I was coming after you?
You said, "Here, hold this rope for me," and he said, "Why don't I just tie it into a noose while I'm holding it?"
Okay, go right ahead.
Sure.
All right. Here's my question for you, Daniel. It's a little sensitive to maybe maybe the boomers out there. If you're a boomer and you're listening to us, maybe you're going to be sensitive. I don't know. If you're a millennial or younger, I don't know you're going to care about this, but you're going to.
We don't know what you're thinking. It's what he's saying. Like if you're a millennial or younger, we don't understand anything about you. So please explain it to us. We don't get it.
My Taco Bell had sporks. Okay. All right. Yours does not. All right. So here's
just drew a line in the sand over sports.
I want to talk about the term legacy recruit. Daniel.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Go on.
The question I have to you, and I'll answer after you go, but I'm going to give you the floor for some time. I'm just going to say if I agree or disagree with you. Is the idea of a legacy recruit, meaning personal ties, family ties, long-standing tradition of going to the same university and catching the son of, or the brother of, or the cousin of the line of namesake?
Yeah.
Is that important at all in today's college football? Does legacy recruit still carry the weight? And if it does, to what percent do you say you care for legacy recruiting? And legacy recruiting is important for Georgia football in today's NCAA. How important is legacy recruiting for Georgia's success?
Okay, listen. A lesser podcast would just give you a half-baked answer. They would just right off the cuff, they fire something out there. And I would come out here and be like, it's 0% important. It's not important at all. Legacy recruits don't matter at all. But I respect you too much, listeners. I respect you too much to give you that kind of nonsense. Here's what I'm going to say. I am going to say that legacy recruiting is exactly 9% important to the overall recruiting spectrum at the University of Georgia, meaning that 91% in 91% of the situations, it is unimportant. It does not mean anything whatsoever.
Correct.
In 10% of the situations, it is incredibly meaningful. Here's what matters all the time. We want, and I'm going to slow down so that everyone is able to follow me here, even the millennials and the boomers and the Gen Zs and the whatevers.
The sport lovers and the not.
The sport, yeah. There are people Googling what is a sport right now, Clint, because of you. Like, that's a thing you did. I'm going to slow down here so that everyone's on the same page. What matters to Georgia and to me, and should matter to you, is that we get the best players which are available for us to get. There's the end of my list right there.
Period.
That's the end of my criteria that I need. So people are going to point to legacy recruiting, and they're going to use the example of, let's just say, Justice Haynes.
Great.
Let me be the first to tell you that the reason Georgia wanted Justice Haynes is because he's very good at football, not because his dad was a Georgia fullback and caught one of the most memorable passes in the history of Georgia football against Tennessee on the hobnail boot play. Listen, I was in college then. I'm the same age as that man who caught that pass, whose son is now a sophomore at Alabama. I wanted Justice Haynes as much as anybody, but it had nothing to do with the fact that he was a legacy recruit. It had everything to do with the fact that he was just a very talented football player. Now, Clint, I will tell you that if I were a heavy-handed, non-nuanced podcast, I would just say then it's 0%. So it doesn't matter. We just want the best players. That's all we care about. But I will say this. You and I both know, Clint, that there are a handful of recruits in every cycle.
Yep.
That are just added on. You understand what I'm saying? Like,
I do.
They ain't going to get there. Like, they're just a part of, like, maybe it's a lotto ticket. Maybe it's a little 3-star kid that the coaching staff sees some potential in, and maybe they grow. And some of those kids, by the way, grow into contributors on the football team, and
absolutely
bully for them. Way to go. You worked hard. You proved everybody wrong. I love that. But there's a handful of kids on the end of every recruiting cycle that are just sort of, they're just kind of there.
Correct.
Now, look, if Stetson Fleming Bennett IV, for example, years into the future,
here we go,
has a son, and he plays football, and he wants to come to the University of Georgia, listen, you can't look me in the eye with a straight face and tell me that it wouldn't be awesome if he came to Georgia. Like, it would be awesome. And so, does it matter ultimately for the goal of winning national championships? No. Legacy recruiting, it's just not a thing anymore because the recruiting landscape is flattened. It's all flat. It is nationalized. It is, everyone is on equal footing. Everyone has equal opportunity to contact all of these players. Everyone has access all the time. That was not the case 30 years ago.
No.
30 years ago, you needed a legacy recruit because that was the only way you knew that kid existed.
Correct.
Is because his dad went to your school. So it doesn't matter, but just a little bit, Clint. It does. That's my answer.
You all watched Gladiator 2.
Okay.
Only because you knew that it was Maximus' son. Okay. That's it. Yeah. Otherwise, the movie sucked.
It wasn't for Denzel, I'll tell you that.
I'll tell you that because that was bizarre.
Not right.
I love Denzel, by the way.
Yeah, that's the problem.
That's the problem. It was so bizarre. You're like, what is going on, Denzel? That's legacy recruiting. It gets some story where you're like, all right, this is fun. There are ties, there are connections. And we can write a story about this. If the kid's good at football,
there you go.
He's good at football.
Mm-hmm.
End of statement. He doesn't care where dad played. As a matter of fact, it could go backwards now for you today. It could be, I don't want to be in dad's shadow.
That happens a lot.
A lot.
By the way, in the case of Justice Haynes.
Case in point. Guys, it used to be something. Cool. Great. Awesome. Used to have a key for your gas tank. Okay.
Oh, God. Oh, no.
We don't have those anymore.
We lost the Gen Z people with the sport.
Sporks are, I'm telling you, that's going to unite people. It doesn't matter anymore, guys. 9% is great. It matters because it gives us some vested interest of emotional human story, and it's great. And when those happen on College Game Day, you better believe I'm going to watch the segment of that story.
Sure.
But after that, on-field production carries more. We're going to come back after this. Dane's going to ask me one more question, but first these.
All right, Clint. We're not in the business of retractions. We all know that.
No.
But you were gone for a whole week. And
I am responsible for nothing that happens when I was away.
We had to fill time somehow.
You all know that I am the only adult on this podcast.
No lies detected. Except for the one about you being an adult. All right. I said, yes. And I'm just curious your thoughts on this. Recording solo episodes sucks. By the way, shout out to Steven from Locked On Rebels. Like, how do you do it every day? We don't get it. We don't get it. We get audited. I said that Georgia,
yes,
don't be surprised. These were my exact words. Don't be surprised. Don't be shocked if Georgia in week 3 goes to Knoxville and takes a big fat L and then runs the table and goes 11-1. Only loss coming to the Tennessee Volunteers, not Alabama, not Texas, not the heavy hitters on the schedule, but the Tennessee Volunteers on the road in week 3. And by the way, Gunnar Stockton's first ever road game.
Yep.
I'm curious your thoughts. Am I crazy for thinking that could be Georgia's most likely loss on the season? I know that Tennessee's in disarray. They got they got a second-hand UCLA quarterback right now. Like, Josh Heupel has been proven to be a fraud. Proven. They tattooed his likeness on their buttocks, Clint.
They did.
And he has been proven to be a fraud. They lost their quarterback. The program seems to be unraveling at the seams.
Yeah.
I have it as Georgia's most likely loss in 2026. I'm curious your thoughts.
I'm gonna rank the percentages, and it's chalk on percentages. Okay, it's the 3 heaviest of hitters.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to add cocktail party into it, I get it. I do. I understand. Yeah. Florida's got some guys on defense coming back. I think they got wide receiver weapons.
Obviously, Lagway. I think the season goes as Lagway goes. We know that about Florida. They have a chance to be good.
They have a chance to be good. But I will wait for the first 5 games of the season before I make any determination on Florida. Okay?
Yes, let me wait.
The spectrum is, the range is wide on Florida, and I will wait. Florida, great cocktail party, but the 3 biggest ones, Texas, Alabama, Tennessee. Those are where you look at and you circle and you say, here's the most likely losses.
By the way, Ole Miss fans, fine.
Sorry
Sorry about that.
Lane had his chance,
Sorry about that.
and he had the most talented team he's ever had,
I'm not sorry.
and
about
he
that.
couldn't do it.
By it, you mean make the college football playoff.
That's literally what I mean.
Okay,
I don't
great.
mean win a college.
Yeah.
I just make
No.
the college football playoff.
Even get invited
Correct.
to the party where the cool kids are hanging out.
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right then.
Alabama, people are going to talk about the monkey that Kirby can't beat Alabama. Okay, well, we did for a national championship, just so
I
we're
was there.
full.
Were you there?
I was there. We were there. Memories were made.
Mm-hmm.
He's already done that. Alabama, I think, is going to win the SEC this year. I'm on record as stating I think they're a very dangerous team. However, that's at home, coming off last year's loss in which we took them to the brink with a fraudulent quarterback.
I mean, we.
Okay.
Golly, that's a whole other.
That's a whole.
I gotta. That yeah.
Texas, everyone's darling favorites, and I just can't see it anywhere from the loss of talent. And you tell me, or they're Florida to me. I know that sounds ludicrous, but they're Florida. They're going to go as much as Arch does, and you can't tell me Arch is going to be the savior of college football. You just can't do it right now. I'm going to hold my.
I mean, right now, if you put a gun to my head, I would take DJ Lagway 10 times out of 10 before I took Arch Manning. 10 times out of 10, I'd take DJ Lagway.
I would too. Okay. Texas lost other talent. It's at home. We got those two games. It's early in the season. We're not going to have a bunch of film on anything. We're not going to have a bunch of understanding on who these teams are. This is the game where we understand who the teams are. Okay? Like, Tennessee returns some pretty good defensive players. They lost a couple of good defensive, but they return. They have an identity. They're at home. We have an unproven quarterback. We have an unproven offensive line. And I just ask you, what happens to offensive lines that aren't synced well with the quarterback that's making a first start in the SEC on the road in a raucous environment early on in the season, Daniel? Tyler Catalina is calling right now.
Oh, no.
False starts, penalties, miscommunication.
John Theus just said, hello, is anyone there? I just had another false start penalty.
If I'm doing chalk,
yeah.
I think Alabama, percentage-wise, is our most likely loss. However, not far behind and maybe tied is Tennessee. On the road, you're going to tell me Nico Iamaleava was that much better than anyone else? His rating was awful. They did not win last year because of him. They won last year because of defense and a run game. That's why they won. Not because of him. He's gone. You're swapping out the same exact dude.
They won last year because their hardest non-conference game was against NC State, who was ranked at the time, and people thought, oh, Tennessee's good.
Nope, they're not.
They're not good.
So
they're just simply not good. I'm nervous about this Tennessee team. I'm nervous about this Tennessee game. I think there's a legitimate shot, and I think, listen, when somebody beats Kirby at home, I'll believe it.
There you go.
But unless, I just don't see it. I don't see it happening. People want to talk about, well, Josh Heupel can't score against Kirby Smart. Josh Heupel can't score against Kirby Smart.
That's not what I'm worried about in that game.
Like, I made the case. Kirby Smart also couldn't beat Alabama, to your point. Kirby Smart couldn't beat Alabama. He just couldn't. He couldn't do it, Clint. He just simply couldn't do it until he did.
He did. See, that's the problem.
See, at some point, Josh Heupel's going to score 20 points against Kirby Smart. And then all the Twitter warriors are going to have to rest their thumbs for a minute and stop saying Josh Heupel never scored 20 points against Kirby Smart. Like, I get it. It's fun. It's funny. It's like we all get a little chuckle out of it until he's going to do it.
He is.
Because it's just football. And I think this is the year that it probably happens. I think people are probably sleeping on Tennessee because of the whole quarterback fiasco. But to your point, I don't know anything about this kid coming in from UCLA. I know that UCLA was excited to take Nico instead of
Sure.
him,
Sure.
but I also know Nico ain't all that. So we
Nope.
shall see. Time will tell. And I guess we'll let you know, we'll know week 3, September the 13th or something, which Clint is not that far away. It's not that far. We're already well into June, several days into June.
Several.
The next month is July, Clint.
Sure.
And then the next month, Georgia plays football. Okay. He's Clint. I am Daniel. We are the Locked On Bulldogs podcast, and we will be back later this week with more on the Georgia Bulldogs, and we will talk to you guys then.
See ya.